What's that thing that hangs off a turkey's face? Well, that thing is called a snood, and it's there to let the other turkeys know that its owner is kind of a big deal. When a male turkey, known as a tom, wants to mate, he faces two hurdles. One is his potential mates, the female turkeys, also known as hens. In the realm of turkey mating, the hens wield the power of choice, and the toms have to get a hen's attention and win the opportunity to reproduce. Come mating season, a tom will strut around, gobble, puff out his chest, fan his tail, and drag his wings to attract the hens, who then pick which of the toms they'll mate with. The second problem for a tom, looking for love, is the other toms in the area. They're all competing for the same limited number of hens. Sometimes a good mating display isn't enough to win a mate, and toms will attack and fight each other to secure a hen. This is where the snood comes in. That goofy-looking piece of dangling flesh helps a tom both with choosy hens and with competition from rival males. Having a long snood almost always means that a hen will want to mate with him, and that another tom will back down from a fight. When two toms are trying to establish dominance, they'll size each other up. Then they'll either fight, or one will flee. In the late 1990s, Dr. Richard Buchholz, an animal behaviorist who focuses on turkeys, wanted to figure out which, if any, characteristics of a tom turkey could predict how they fare in dominance fights. That is, did bigger turkeys tend to win more scuffles? Did older ones? He also wanted to see if the turkeys used any of these predictive cues when sizing each other up. He looked at various characteristics of dominant toms that fight and win, and compared them to those of subordinate toms that lose fights or run from them. Of all the characteristics he looked at, only relaxed snood length seemed to be a reliable predictor of how a tom would do in bird versus bird combat. The dominant males, the ones who won fights and got a choice mate, had longer snoods. With that in mind, Buchholz looked at how toms reacted to other toms with snoods of varying sizes. The birds tended to avoid confrontation with other males, with longer snoods, and wouldn't even feed near them. A big snood, this suggests, says to the other turkeys that this is a tom you don't want to tangle with. Buchholz noted that snood length correlates with age, body mass, and testosterone. So, to competitors, the snood could be a good indicator of a tom's aggressiveness, age and experience, size, and overall condition and fighting ability. Once the males have established who's going to have a chance to mate, the final choice goes to the hen. While the mating display is the main draw for getting a hen to check him out, a tom's snood helps him out again here. Like it did for the other males, a tom's snood signals a lot of information to a female assessing potential mates. It indicates how old and how big he is, and even says something about his health. In another study, Buchholz found that longer snooded toms carried fewer parasites. If a hen wanted to choose a mate with good genes that might help her offspring grow large, live long, and avoid parasites, a tom's snood is a good advertisement for his genes. In that study, hens showed a clear preference for toms with longer snoods. In another experiment years later, Buchholz found that healthy hens again showed a strong preference for long snoods, and that hens with their own parasite problems were less picky about snood length and checked out more potential mates. Perhaps Buchholz thinks, because the hens recognized their own susceptibility to infection and were willing to invest more time searching for a tom with genes for parasite resistance that would complement their own, but still showed some preference for longer ones. While a snood might look goofy to us, for a turkey, it's integral to the mating game, signaling to other toms that they should get out of his way, and letting hens know that he's got what they're looking for.